Carbs is your brain food. Your body cannot live without carbohydrates, so just eliminating carbohydrates is not the answer.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Meat Based Fitness. Today we're diving deep into a hot topic, strength training on the carnivore diet. Is it merely a viable alternative to the carb-heavy regimens we've all been led to believe are the only way to truly put on significant muscle? Or could it potentially set a new gold standard for building strength and muscle? With an increasing number of carnivore bodybuilders and strength athletes showcasing remarkable feats of strength and muscle mass, it's time we examine the facts. Carnivore influencers like Dr. Anthony Chaffee and Dr. Shawn Baker are perfect examples that it's absolutely possible to get jacked on a carnivore diet, with their impressive physiques and strength achievements, all fueled by a diet that's animal-based. Take Dr. Shawn Baker, a veteran in the strength training world, with over 45 years under his belt. Embracing the carnivore diet for 8 years, he not only increased his weight from 245 to 265 pounds, but also surged in strength, all without the aid of exogenous hormones like testosterone replacement therapy, which, hilariously, many envious vegans with the wrist circumference of a 12-year-old girl have accused him of. And what's more intriguing is that he achieved a significant muscle gain of about 10 pounds, a remarkable feat considering his extensive weightlifting background and age of 55. This breakthrough and the multiple world records he set challenges the long-standing belief in the bodybuilding community regarding the necessity of carbohydrates for such achievements. Traditionally, carbohydrates have been hailed as invaluable for muscle building and putting on size, primarily due to their role in stimulating muscle protein synthesis and their supposed ability to minimize muscle protein breakdown. However, recent insights reveal a different story. Muscle protein synthesis can indeed be effectively stimulated by insulin, but this response can be adequately triggered by protein intake alone on a ketogenic diet, sidelining the absolute need for carbohydrates. This part right here though, about high protein intakes being associated with an increased risk of type 2 diabetes, is a load of shit. This revelation completely dismantles the myth of carbohydrates being indispensable for muscle growth. The efficiency of muscle building and athletic performance is significantly influenced by the body's adaptation to specific energy sources. Athletes who primarily use glucose as their energy source may lean towards carbohydrates to bolster their performance and muscle building efforts, although when all that carb loading inevitably catches up with them and they find themselves having type 2 diabetes, they might regret that. In contrast, those well adapted to a low-carb or ketogenic diet, like Dr. Shawn Baker, have the unique advantage of utilizing fats as their primary energy source with extremely good efficiency. Now, it's important to keep in mind that this level of adaptation to the carnivore or a keto diet is not achievable merely in a month or even 2 months. Someone like a Dr. Shawn Baker, who displays incredible athletic ability on a carnivore diet, has been on the diet for years, and they are well and truly adapted, enabling them to train intensely and build muscle efficiently without the conventional carb dependency. Muscle development hinges more on training intensity and consistency than on any specific macronutrient composition. The foundation lies in adequate protein intake and ensuring a sufficient energy supply, whether that energy comes from fats or carbohydrates. While a higher calorie intake may be more straightforward with carbohydrates, the carnivore diet, with its emphasis on ample food intake and vigorous training, stands as a testament to the possibility of achieving substantial muscle growth without carbohydrates. And with a carnivore diet, there's even potential advantages over carbohydrates for muscle building. The carnivore diet's influence on muscle energy sources Notably, the shift towards ketones and fatty acids in a fat-fueled diet brings an interesting perspective on muscle protein breakdown. This fat-based energy provision may potentially reduce muscle protein breakdown compared to a carbohydrate-rich diet. The journey to muscle growth is not a one-size-fits-all path, especially not one exclusively paved with carbohydrates. The carnivore diet clearly emerges not just as a viable option, but as a compelling alternative, challenging and reshaping our approaches to diet and training. By focusing on rigorous training, sufficient protein consumption, and tailoring dietary energy sources to our metabolic adaptation, significant muscle gains are not only possible, they're within reach.